Increasing home ownership is a priority for the city because of our stats right now, right? About 60% of the city is rentals, while 40% is home ownership. That's very, very low compared to national, county, and state statistics. That being said, we of course have a large student base that we love, and that is going to impact our rentals versus home ownership. But we've also been building rentals at a rate of about 12 to 1 in the recent past. So, we want to improve those numbers. 2024, we decided to make a goal to make it 50-50. That was our goal, 50 rentals to 50% homeownership. We make about 3 priorities a year in the council, and for the last 3 years, a priority has been to do homeownership. I'm going to go over a few ways that Provo City is helping make homeownership more available to the citizens of Provo. Number 1, we are working on land trust. What I love about land trusts is that they are perpetual. They provide perpetual affordable housing. So land trusts are where the nonprofit that we set up will hold the land of the house. So the buyer of the home will not pay for the land. That saves you about 30%. That is a significant amount. And so that enables people to buy sooner, do less of a down payment, and they're able to hold on to that house as long as they want. Our other focus with our land trusts in Provo are going to be as workforce housing, which means it will be for our fire, for our police, for city employees, so that they can live in the city where they work. All right, so I've talked to you about one way in which Provo is helping make homeownership more accessible for people. I'm gonna talk about the second way. So the second way is when new developments come to us, that's when we have influence, right? So we're making a point with new developments to put in a home ownership requirement where it's appropriate. For example, we have a development at Buckley Draw. It's about 120 homes, and it is all going to be single-family homes with a little bit of a yard, and Provo City actually owned the land. That gives a lot more control. And with that, we have designed a development which will be 100% owner-occupied. Like, this is huge. We are so excited to see how this works out. And like how I talked about the land trust, it was perpetual, this is perpetual too. We put in the development agreement, which is a legal binding document between the developer and the city of Provo, and it will create deed restrictions on these homes that even when they're sold, they need to be owner occupied for the first year. So we are really excited for this development. I think it's going to be a real asset to the community, and you can see them moving the land up there on Buckley Draw right now. All right, I'm here with you today to go over the final way in which we work towards making homeownership more accessible for the citizens of Provo. Another way is enforcement. Now that may seem odd, but it is a huge issue, and it's something that our citizens ask us about a lot. So enforcement is when we enforce on people using their property legally, okay? One of the big enforcement issues we have in Provo is over occupancy. So a home is supposed to be occupied by a family or 3 individuals. And quite often we'll get them used illegally such that we have 8, 10, 12 students in a single family home. What does that do? So what that does is it incentivizes investors, right? An investor is very happy to own a single family home where they have 10 students in it. They make a lot of money on that. And because they can make so much rental income on that, it increases the price of our housing in Provo, and it lowers even our stock, which affects pricing because investors will buy up a lot of our property in Provo. It's really appealing. So that's one thing that we work on to make sure that we have the housing that citizens need and their prices are not inflated by investors. Okay, there's a lot of long-term benefits to homeownership. Let's go over a few of them. Number 1 is stability. It's a very huge benefit to have a 30-year mortgage and know that your rent or mortgage is going to be the same every single month. And renters don't have that. And a single time of being told that your rent's going to go up can make you move, and then you move again when that one goes up. You move. It creates a lot of instability and makes, for the family, it's hard. And that also affects our schools. We have a lot of Title I schools in Provo, and we have areas of Provo that are like 98% rentals, and it affects the stability of that school. It is so transient with kids moving in and out, and it affects the learning of the entire class. Another thing is it increases the investment. It increases your investment in an area. You get involved in the neighborhood program. You get involved in your community. You get involved in the churches and in the nonprofits, and we all benefit from that. We want people to be able to work and live in the same place, right? We want our doctors and nurses, and we want our police and fire to be able to work in a city where they have to go to emergencies, right? They're doing night shifts, they're having emergencies where they need to go quickly to work, and we want it to be better for their family and provide more time with their family. People want their kids and grandkids to live here. I know I want my kids and grandkids to live here. You know, these are things we have to look at in Provo. There's a lot of hope about the future of housing in Provo. Number one, we have the RDA, the Redevelopment Agency, and we have some really exciting projects coming on in East Bay, which is much needed and very exciting. We'll have a lot of housing to meet a lot of different needs. And you know, that's an area that has needed to be revitalized since I was a kid. So it's way overdue, and I think in 10 years it's just gonna be an awesome, awesome place to be, and everyone's gonna go there and utilize East Bay. So condos have been something we've wanted in the city for so long, right? Because people need to get into homeownership, and they want to get into homeownership, but they need a smaller square footage. That's the issue for the price. But because of national issues, and condos have been really hard to get people to do because of insurance and financing. And these are national issues that we can't fight. So we've told the state about this, and the state is very aware of the problem. And the state is going to be coming out with their own finance and insurance tool to help us get condos, to make it work for developers, to make it work for the financing side of it. So I'm very excited for that. We desperately need condos because people just need to start smaller, right? They need to start into a smaller square footage so that they can start in homeownership and move their way up, right? It's the change that we need, and I'm excited for that. There are some options available for people that are hoping to buy a home and like wanting a little bit of help. We do have the Provo City Home Purchase Plus program. And what's exciting about that is that for the first time the price is raised. They'll now went from $40,000 down to $60,000 down. So we've been fighting for that because it just didn't give enough down payment, and we really wanted that improved. So that's been improved. There's also been a forgiveness element added. So reach out to Provo City for that. There's also, the state has a program for first-time home buyers. So this is for new homes, and they help buy down the interest rate, they help with down payment, so that's something to look into. Another private sector thing that I have found to be really creative and very beneficial is the Rocky Mountain Home Fund. And the Rocky Mountain Home Fund will help lower your interest rate, it'll help with your down payment. And it also has a lot of benefits and education that goes into for first-time home buyers. So I recommend all of those.